Okay, hello and welcome back to another episode. Been a little bit of a break, um, but we're back. I'm going to continue on with this painting and have some discussion points like before, but I'm just gonna kind of go with the flow. So I'm gonna get right into let's say some paint and kind of discussing like where my head's at, where things are. Um, I don't know. This is a lot more challenging than I thought it would be, which I know can sound silly. Like I'm just sitting here talking on a podcast by myself. So in some way, I feel like it shouldn't be that difficult, but it's really difficult. Try not to say economies about truly Paul. So today I am in for some painting. So some of the things that I wanted to talk about today. As you can see, I have a new mic set up. Hands-free is a big thing. I'm still recording on my laptop and then going to sync with the computer because that is just where I am. Apparently, you have to buy another cord. If you have one of these mics, you have to buy a lightning cord, even though kind of it markets being compatible with the iPhone, but they do not include that in the package. So, FYI. Okay, so I decided as well that my name is Anna. My real name is Anna. I'm going to go by my real name for this moving forward, my real first name. And I am making a variation to my last name to maintain like some of the stuff that I spoke about before. I don't want to talk too much. I'm rambling and it's not genuine, so I'm just gonna paint. What I wanted to discuss today is like I think a lot of people who are in similar positions have this where they have like a job, they feel like they can't leave, and so they can't. Like I obviously need a job to afford to live, you know. I am not in a position where I can just be like, oh, I think I'll just quit, even though like it feels like that starts to go into your mind and think, oh, this is reasonable because of, how I'm struggling so much just to make ends meet already with this like full-time job. But yeah. However, I don't know if of course, some people may have seen Chappell Rowan's speech at the Grammys yesterday, where she asked or demanded or brought light to the fact that most artists don't make a livable wage and you don't have things like health insurance. Even in Canada, like if you're self-employed, OHIP covers a lot, but things like dental, eyes, those things aren't covered. If you get into any kind of emergency, you start having to pay out-of-pocket medications. You still pay out-of-pocket here. And Canada's health system is really, really failing right now. So it feels like I need this job to live, but it's draining my soul in so many ways versus like, this is the opposite. It's very fulfilling to my soul. And I feel like I should be doing something that translates this into the world. And yet I feel incredibly burdened by the lack of like financial stability. Like I want to move. I want to get out of here into a better place. But it feels very kind of daunting and suffocating to feel like you don't really have any options. Unless it's quitting your job and taking a huge risk with your life. And I don't know, in my age, I've become far less, I have a far less degree of risk tolerance. You know, I went through a tough time a little while ago, and I saw how that really impacted the people around me, and I'm nervous to put myself in a difficult situation again because I don't want to further, you know, cause a lot of drama. You know, art gives us so much. Like, I was thinking about the GDP, like, think about entertainment as an export. Like, how much revenue does the United States make? I actually don't know. I looked this up. What percentage of their GDP is from entertainment? And I don't think it's insignificant. I think it's pretty considerable. However, a lot of artists are either in debt or struggling and don't have healthcare and stuff like this. So there's a great disparity between, let's say, corporations and the people providing the work for the corporations, which sounds very familiar to what I'm dealing with right now. Funny how that works. It feels like you have to, quote unquote, sell your soul, sell out, or to become that corporate giant in order to make it. Because if you don't do that, you're just going to continue in this horribly exhausting rat race where you feel like you have no options except to continue to produce and be productive for a organization or company that doesn't value your work. Or in fact, they do value the work that you do. They really, really value the work that they do, right? The work that you do is their export, their product, their whatever. But you've just made it acceptable to pay people a standard that is completely, disconnected to reality. And so what do we do? What do we do with all this? Honestly, the only answer that I can ever think of is to create art. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because this feels like the only possible thing that any of us could ever do in times like this. And I'm not being overly dramatic. Maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic. But if you look at times of great conflict, some of the most profound works have come from those times. And I don't think that's an accident at all. I think that kind of goes in hand. I'm sorry, this is so rambly. This is purely no game plan, no script, just a few ideas, and a significant enough feeling of helplessness to override all of the things that make this scene incredibly ridiculous and cringe. So this is an abstract style that I've started to kind of develop. I won't get into like what it is or what it means, just because I'm still working on that. But it is a style that I've been working on, and hopefully I can get a little better at. But I'll have to wait for this to dry before going like even earlier. Yeah, so this one wasn't very inspiring. I don't know. I just hope it just speaks truth to what a lot of people feel, especially when they're in this place where they have another calling, but they don't feel like they're in a position where they can follow that calling. And that's very much where I am now. Where they feel like something that they have to do is draining them and keeping them from doing the things that they want to do. The things that they want to do don't cover the basic necessities, so they have to do certain things. I don't know, I'm gonna keep my eye out for people that have I think of all like great successful artists must have overcome this, so perhaps I'm somewhere on that journey. Okay, hello. So editing Anna here. So for context, so I recorded the first episode and I didn't press record on the audio setup, but the iPhone was recording, so that's what got recorded. And then I ran this audio through a app called Auphonic, which is basically like AI sound engineering. And so that's how I was able to get like a decent sound from that recording. And then, so on the second episode, I have these mics now, and it's not recording stereo, so it's not recording both, so it only recorded like one side, so it's only coming through on like one headphone. Anyway, I'm trying to fix all this stuff, but yeah, that's context as to what happened with the recordings here. So I didn't press record, but I still had the audio from the iPhone, and then I was able to run that through an AI audio engine, and it fixed the recording and made it sound very podcasty. So yeah.